when I was in my 20s, listen, I thought I was going to be in my 20s forever. But now that I am 32 this year, I already have a vision in my head about the kind of woman I'm going to be. And every single day I wake up, I'm doing it for her. And I feel like as women, this idea of getting older is something that can often be uncomfortable. That's why some of us, I'm putting myself in that category, because I used to be that person who was scared to share her age. And I just feel like, why the hell not, man? It's a blessing for me to be here. I've been given 3 decades of my life and I'm still healthy. Like, let's be grateful. Just on a serious note, like as women, very, very often society, men love to project this image of the perfect and ideal woman who does not age, right? And sometimes we can internalize those things and we can put a lot of pressure on ourselves where we think that we should not age, and we can see it as a very dreadful thing. But I think that especially in my 30s, I feel so grateful for the mistakes that I made in my 20s. I feel so grateful for the experiences that I had in my 20s, because when I'm navigating my life now, looking forward, I am more informed, I am more empowered, I'm more confident, I am more bold to communicate my boundaries. I know what I want now. I'm not navigating the world not knowing what I want and just hoping that the things that I want fall my way. Now I know what I want and I know how to get the things that I want. Some of the things that I want, I can get them in a week, and some of the things that I want can take 2 years, can take 3 years, can take 15 years, can take, but at least I know what I want and I know the journey, and that reassures me, that gives me confidence, that makes me excited, because I know that the version of myself, that 44-year-old version of myself, I'm gonna be her, and I might even surprise myself and I might be her even sooner. So yeah, I'm just gonna share the list of questions that I just contemplate on as I deliberate my journey from becoming a girl to being a woman. The first question that I've been thinking about lately is my question of relationships, but not in a romantic relationship setting or familial relationship setting or even friendship relationship setting. No, I've been asking myself lately, what kind of relationship do I have with my days? What are the things that I need to do to make sure that I have a healthy and a positive and excited relationship with the days that I've been given? We have not been guaranteed familial relationships that they're going to be there forever. But one thing that we have been guaranteed and that we will have throughout the duration of our existence is time. And the thing that I've been thinking about, I was just like, how do I speak about my days? How do I interact with my days? How do I relate to my Monday? How do I feel about my Monday? Do I love my Mondays? Do I love my Tuesdays? Do I love my mornings? Do I love my evenings? Okay, if my evenings are a little downhill, what can I do to make my evenings more pleasurable? Right? Do I love my Wednesdays? Or are Wednesdays a bit of a drag for me? What can I do to make my Wednesdays pleasurable? Do I love my Sundays? What would be the ideal Sunday for me, so that when I speak to my days, I speak to them with love, I speak to them with excitement, I speak to them with zeal, with an appreciation, with a gratitude that, oh my gosh, Tuesday, I'm meeting you again, let's go. When I think about relationships, for me, relationships are fun. Relationships are places where we can explore. Relationships are places where we can be ourselves. And when I use that word and couple it to my days, I am forced to consider how I can be more creative in making my life more pleasurable. The second question that I ask myself is, what would my most confident version of myself do? I love this one, because for me, the first answer is I would present and show up in the world as my most confident and my most stylish version of myself. Listen, my most confident version of myself is going to be dressed to the nines. My most confident version of myself is going to be disciplined enough to keep on with their morning routine and their evening routine. My most confident version of myself is going to be trying new hairstyles if I want to. My most confident version of myself is going to be drinking water, 2 liters of water every single day. My most confident version of myself is going to make sure that she's getting her certification and her education up. My most confident version of myself is going to be putting videos like these in public freaking domain. That's the most confident version of myself, right? My most confident version of myself is the version of myself that chooses to eat healthy every single day. The idea of dieting, no, for me, health is forever, because I'm looking at that 44-year-old boss ass, hot ass chick that I'm gonna be. And to be that, I need to be eating well right now. And because I'm eating well right now, I'm gonna reap the benefits right now. So it's just a win-win. So what is the most confident version of myself going to say in this scenario, right? If I know that a meeting is coming up, what is the most confident version of myself going to present and say when I'm there? What is the most confident version of myself going to think? What kind of thoughts does the most confident version of myself think? Am I thinking empowering thoughts? Am I thinking thoughts that are, bringing me down, giving me low self-esteem, ruminating on envy? Or is my most confident version of myself thinking thoughts that are encouraging, that are positive, that are healing, that are motivating, that are full of gratitude? What is the most confident version of myself doing? And instead of saying, maybe I'll be here in 44, it's gonna 12 years. Maybe I'll be there in 12 years. No, baby, we're practicing right now, okay? We're not expecting that this is just gonna magically poof, happen. No, we're practicing right now. We're trying and thinking the thoughts that we wanna have right now, because that's the kind of relationship that we have with our days. The third question that I'm asking myself right now, but I won't lie, I've been asking myself this question for the past 2 years. I've been asking myself, what beliefs am I still holding on to that no longer serve me? And these beliefs can be beliefs about myself, yes, but they can also be like religious beliefs that I'm holding on to that no longer serve me. I have been doing a lot of shedding of expectations that maybe society has about women, expectations about my relationship status. I don't have to be in a relationship. Do you know how creative I am? Do you know how creative I get when I get in a relationship? I want all that creative energy to go to this girl, to this person, me, this one. All that creative energy that I give or I gave to relationships, girlie, it's coming back here. Do you know how my life is going to transform? The fact that I'm giving all of that attention to this girl. Do you know how my life is going to transform, girlie? Sit back and watch, because you're going to see it, right? So those expectations of being expected to be in a relationship, I don't sign up to those expectations anymore. And ever since I've let that go, my life has just my life has catapulted for the best. I am healthy, I am sober, I no longer drink alcohol. Listen, my skin is clear, my skin is popping. I am very happy, and I'm here. My mental health is great. For the Christian girlies who are watching this, all the best for you if you're still devout Christian. I'm no longer devout Christian. Personally, the idea of one God is something that is kind of hard to understand, because I look at nature, and nature is just this field of collaboration. Nature is a place where it's not just one thing that is creating everything. Everything is always creating everything. And I think as a concept, it makes me also understand business. It makes me also understand how healthy partnership and collaboration in an entrepreneurship, in family, in society works, right? Everything has to work with each other. And the idea of just being in a silo and there's this one person doing everything, I think it's a very man-made hierarchical structure. But nature does not have hierarchy like that. Nature is very collaborative. So I don't know if I want to go into this rabbit hole, because it's going to deviate the the essence of this video, but I have been sharing some layers of my former Christian background because I love the idea of thinking that God is a woman. For me, it makes sense that God is a woman. For me, I'm in a process where it makes sense to me that there are many gods, okay? Nature is a god and it's a she, right? She's a god. If you study the God of nature, you will understand that the laws of nature, and if you follow the laws of nature, you will be successful the way she is successful when she is in harmony, right? Because humans be messing nature up. So when she's left alone, nature flourishes, nature is successful, but she follows laws. And if you understand these laws, you will be successful in your life, right? That is one God. Another God is the God of money. God of money, I'd like to think of him as a he. The God of money also has laws. You study the God of money, you understand that the God of money is not a God that does a short-term relationship. He's not a person who likes short-term relationships. If you interact with him with that mindset of a short-term relationship, you're probably going to burn your fingers. The God of money loves a long-term relationship, and if you study his laws and you understand his pace of working, you will be successful, right? So I feel like there are many gods, and for me, I want to believe in something that I can apply. I don't want to be in a room all by myself and just pray, and I'm not doing anything. I want to know that I can do something to change my life, because every single time I've done something to change my life has changed. And the idea of just sitting back and not doing anything and just speaking that, oh yeah, I want this, but I'm just there. Just something about it. It's just not, I'm just like, no wonder so many of our people are still in poverty, right? No wonder so many of our people are not understanding like financial literacy. It's because they're just there and they're just praying that someday one person is gonna help them, but baby, nobody's gonna come and save you. You know what I mean? But anyway, let me move on to this. If you guys want me to break down my idea, listen, this idea is not set in stone yet, but it's just liberating, and I love believing and knowing that there are female gods out there, because ain't no way creation exists from a man alone. Get out of here. This is a very obvious question. I've heard this question all around, but I keep asking myself this because sometimes we can be pulled into the tide of other people's dreams and goals, right? So I keep asking myself every week, I ask myself, what does success look like for me in this coming week, knowing the things that I will be doing, right? But also, what does success look like for me? For example, without telling all my business, for me being successful, the foundation of being successful is being healthy. You can't be successful if your mind is clogged up with toxic substances. Okay, you can't be healthy, you can't be successful, if your body can't move and I'm in pain. Okay, success for me, the foundation of it is me being healthy, because then I can enjoy my success. I have the energy to pursue certain goals, not even like serious goals, hobbies. I have the energy to partake in hobbies. I have the energy to study. I have the energy to read. So for me, the foundation of success is being healthy. That's where it starts. And also there's a little bit of vanity to being healthy. And come on, man, I'm a human being. I'm not an angel and a saint. Right now, a lot of people don't prioritize their health. A lot of people that I work around don't prioritize their health. I tell people that I don't get sick, and they don't believe me. And I tell them, hey, if you want to know how not to get sick, let me know and I'll tell you, because I don't get sick. You see here, it was winter. No, it's not winter. It's like transitioning from winter into spring. So it's a little cool. But because of certain things that I do, I don't feel as cold as the general population. Look at my skin. Look at how bright my skin is. I tell people I don't get sick, but they don't believe me. And I come to a meeting or I come to office wearing this. People are wearing scarves, wearing this. And I'm not wearing this so that I show off my guns, you know? I'm wearing this because in terms of my body's temperature, this is comfortable for me, right? But people won't believe me because people have sold or have eaten up the lie that you have to get sick. No, baby. Being sick is part of an industry, okay? You don't have to get sick. And if you want me to do a video about not falling sick, because you don't have to be sick, unless it's a genetic thing, okay? But also, even if it's a genetic thing, there are certain things that you can do to prevent certain illnesses, right? Sickness is not something that you have to accept in your life. There are a lot of things, nature has given us a lot of things that can help us thrive and survive, you know. But unless like you have been born with that deficiency, right, unless that thing is congenital, okay, unless that thing is an accident, all right, those are situations where it was out of your control. But most of the time it's because of your habits. And I would love to talk more about that, but you guys are gonna have to tell me if you want to see that. If you don't want to see that, I'm not gonna make that content. It starts with health. Health powers everything. And then it goes into my finances, my mental state. My mental state is everything because this is where the creativity comes from. This is where my positive attitude comes from. This is where the motivation comes from. This is where my will to do well, my will to change my life comes from. So I need to make sure that I'm equipped here. So I'm gonna invest in my studies. I'm gonna invest in reading. I'm gonna invest in practicing certain skills so that I am a professional in them, right? So that I'm well versed. Another question that I'm also asking myself is, in what ways am I nurturing my inner self? So first of all, I have to define what my inner self is. For me, my inner self is the untouched version of myself, the version of myself that wants to live life to the fullest, that wants to squeeze the juice out of life to make sure that when I'm on my deathbed, my inner self is satisfied with the life that I have lived, right? So that is my inner self. And then the one that is this flesh and bones is the one that has the ego, is the one that has the insecurities, is the one that has the doubts, you know. But my inner self is like my purest form, my untouched form, my soul. And I have to ask myself, how am I feeding my soul every single day? My soul is fed in different ways. My soul is fed through my ears. So I'm very intentional about what I listen to. Whether it's music, I listen to 95% female artists. When I tell you that I'm enjoying being a woman, guys, I'm not playing. Like when I'm looking for advice on how to be a fantastic professional person or how to be a fantastic business person, I look for women. When I look for how to have great emotional intelligence, I look at Dr. Cheyenne. There are not a lot of YouTube recommendations with women regarding that topic. It's usually like Daniel Goleman who pops up, but I try to look for women. If I'm looking for music to just, you know, get me going, I listen to women. If I'm looking to exercise on YouTube, I look at female content creators. Like if I'm looking at books to read, I read books by women. Like I'm in this place where I am enjoying the essence of being a woman. We are so powerful. We are so great. Even when I'm looking at, I'm not looking at relationship advice right now, but like when I'm looking at femininity, when I'm looking at seduction, I know it's a very hot topic when it comes to womanhood, right? I listen to female content creators. I'm not going to listen to a man talk to me about femininity when the majority of you don't know how to embrace that version of yourselves. You can't sit in your emotions. You can't define your emotions. You don't know how to express your emotions. You think that it's a sign of weakness. I would love to listen to a person like Dr. Cheyenne. I would love to listen to a woman like that in terms of topics of emotional intelligence because she's a woman, okay? Yes, I'm biased. I don't care. We are all different. This doesn't mean that this is going to apply for you, okay? Some people, they're fed through their eyes. Some people are fed through activity. Some people are fed through, I hope it's not food, because food shouldn't be something that you should be relating to emotionally, because then it's the beginning of a lot of problems. I hope it's not food, but yes, enjoying food that is good and healthy is how I feed my inner self too. But when I talk about food, I talk about unhealthy food, right? Like if you're sad, now you're turning to food. I think there are more healthier ways to cope with those feelings. But that's not the conversation for today. So for me, 70% of how I feed my inner soul is through my ears. But what works for me is not going to be what works for you. And I hope you find what works for you. Like I said in the beginning of this video, my 20s were a mess. It just felt like I was in a hurricane and I was like, things were happening to me and I was just reacting, right? But I am so grateful for my 20s. I'm grateful for the hurt. I'm grateful for the disappointment. I'm grateful for the regret. I'm grateful for the joy. I'm grateful for the success. I am grateful for the great things that I have done in my 20s, the great habits that I have done in my 20s that I still have now. I'm grateful for the fact that I've been that disciplined. One of the ways that I celebrate the woman that I was in the past is that I journal and I practice gratitude. I'm grateful for the people who are in my life. I'm grateful for the people who've left and the things that they've taught me about myself. You know, there's this saying that I bumped into again 2 days ago. The saying says that what we see in others is a reflection of ourselves. And so many times we can be mad at other people for what we see in them, but they are a reflection of ourselves. So if we are entertaining people in our lives that we are not very, like they don't make us feel good, right? But we keep entertaining them, that image that we're entertaining is a reflection of ourselves. So I'm grateful for the people who brought out the worst in me. I'm grateful for the people who brought out the best in me. And the reason why I am at this point is because I have forgiven everyone. I've forgiven everyone. If you are in my life, I've forgiven you. I have forgiven you. Because I have managed to find the lesson in every human relationship that I've had. It started with the parents. You know, when you start therapy, they ask you questions about, hey, your mother, hey, your father. It started with my parents, where I had to do the most forgiving. I've forgiven my parents. I've forgiven people who are my friends. I've forgiven people who were my romantic partners, right? I've forgiven myself for not knowing what to do in that moment because I didn't know. I've forgiven myself. And after forgiving myself, I said, okay, what is the lesson that I can learn from that human relationship? Whether that human relationship lasted all my life, like with my parents, whether that human relationship was like 7-10 years, whether that human relationship was for a month. What can I learn from there that I can take accountability for, that I can use to become a better version of myself? The fact that every relationship, good and bad, has given me something that can make me a better version of myself is the reason why I'm grateful.